And I'm going to have to look all this up because I want to make sure.
What time's the live stream start?
The live stream has been up for the last 5 hours or 4 hours. And we've got an hour till launch. We've got a 5-hour window, so if things are not nominal.
What channel is this? This isn't SpaceX.
Let me go to
Everyday Astronauts. I usually have a couple of these up.
So, yeah, it's always good to have multiple streams. Everyday Astronaut is just absolutely fantastic. Always has been. For some reason, we're not live. I didn't tweet it out at least.
Launch 4 private astronauts on Crew Dragon. And what are they going to do? They're just going to go up and come back down?
No, they're going up. They're going orbital for 3 days. That's what's planned. And they're going higher than the International Space Station.
Man, that's just scary.
Yeah, I mean, it's the furthest we've been since the Gemini program. And I think the highest... I think the last time we went this high was in the shuttle for to repair the Hubble telescope, I believe. I need to fact check that. I think I heard that earlier today. Where is the live content?
I've got the streams up.
I'm trying to find get shareable link so we can tweet it out.
Shareable link. Yeah,
Yep.
I've got both the YouTube streams up here. There's SpaceX. Everyday Astronaut. And then I don't know what this one is. This is the fundraiser one. Space videos. I don't know what it is. Are we meeting the astronauts on the SpaceX one?
Oh yeah, they've been doing a lot of stuff.
They're going to be in that tight little capsule for this long?
For 3 days, yeah.
They're just going to sit there? They can't like move around?
No. So the seats drop down and they can like do experiments and stuff. It's no International Space Station. It's not going to be
that sounds so fucking boring and scary and dangerous.
I mean, you're in space, dude. I mean, if you really look at it, go back and look at the moon, the first, like Apollo 11. It is absolutely nuts. They stayed in what was the space size of I think it's like a Volkswagen. It was something small, but basically like an SUV, and that's all the room they had for 3 days there, 3 days back, not including the moon landing and everything. All right, retweet. I'm gonna retweet this. And chat. There we go. We're officially live. Private chat. Let me see. Okay. All right. Cool. Thanks for sending me that. By the way, we've got a full 0 streams. But anyway, everybody's so excited about this. We might not get a lot of viewers.
Yeah, there's people. It's high competition here, but
it's all right.
Hang out anyway and watch it. So might as well stream it.
It's going to be extremely fun to watch. I have some friends that are on Pad 40. They're part of the triage team, and they're sending me some really incredible photos.
That's cool.
Yeah. They're only about 4 miles away from the launch, so they've got like a front row seat. 4 miles seems like it's pretty far away, but when you've got a building going up in the sky, that's close. So hopefully
this isn't Starship they're launching, right? It's the
no. It's a Falcon 9.
Falcon 9, yeah.
It's a Falcon 9 rocket. It's not to be confused with Super Heavy,
right? Which
I'm wearing right now. And also, this is like one of my favorite shirts. It's a Falcon 9 rocket, but it's got the DNA.
Oh, that's cool.
Coming out of it.
So there's how many people are there? 4?
4. There's 4 pillars. So there's Jared Isaacman. There's Haley Arsenault. She's from St. Francisville, by the way.
Wow.
So Jared.
Hometown says Memphis, Tennessee on here.
She's from St. Francisville. You could go watch it. She's from St. Francisville. She lived in St. Francisville until she got bone cancer and then moved. Aww. Then did So she embodies hope. She got bone cancer whenever she was like 12. and she did chemotherapy, everything, survived, became a PA, and now works at St. Jude as a physician's assistant, helping other kids get through their cancer, which is incredibly inspiring. No better person that should go up there. Jared Isaacman is this like multi-millionaire, brilliant guy, dropped out of high school, got his GED, and then created this like enormous pay system. And then he's a daredevil. He just goes, does different, like, went to Antarctica to climb up the mountains.
I mean, this seems incredibly safe. As long as the rocket doesn't explode on launch, this is, this is incredibly safe.
And that's the point. That's the point.
Right. You push yourself up to space and let that thing float back down.
Well, so it's not going to float back down. It's actually going to be in orbital. It's going to be orbital for 3 days, and then it's going to turn around and burn.
It's got rockets on board that it's using to keep its orbit as well?
Not in orbit. So, like, once you're in orbit, you could stay there for a pretty long time. Let me see.
It's not a decaying orbit or whatever.
They will have to use the Super Draco thrusters at the side and turn around to slow themselves down, and then that's when they'll deorbit. But it's going to be cool. And that's directly on the Dragon. And I think it's 3 stages. So you got the first stage, which is the normal booster that's been reused. And then you have the secondary engine. It's going to fall off. And then you've got the capsule itself. But I was talking to my friends. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but they're like the SpaceX ninjas that help the astronauts get in and then, lock everything, make sure everything's good. That's one of the things that we want to do. And that's something we are going to do in the next 4 or 5 years. And I was like, what number do you want? And I'm like, 69 or 42. I have to have 69 or 42. All right. Super. There's actually some really good content. Let's
You got the seed of generosity after making a big donation. He paid his way on the rocket, this guy. But hey,
Jared?
It's going to children. It's going to children's research. No, Chris Simbrowski.
Oh, how much did he pay?
I don't know. It just says after he made a large donation. That's all it said.
9.
I need to watch the Netflix specials. Have you watched those yet?
I watched the first episode. I watched the first episode. I should have watched more, but I've just been too busy lately.
Now. Why don't you have this on the screen? The SpaceX one.
I am.
I went to space camp when I was a kid.
What does he do?
Hit F11. What does that do for your screen? Or it actually probably need to make that. Oh, that sounds good.
Then I can't see you. I don't have that dual monitor set up.
Yeah, you can change it back.
Do you want to show it?
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Only way you can share audio is if you do entire screen.
But yeah, it's supposed to be safe. It's not a big risk like any other pushing the boundary. It's supposed to be safe as commercial air flight should be, or space flight should be. It should be safe. And that's what it's proven.
Is that coming through?
Exemplified the entrepreneurial spirit.
How's that work? Any is that? Are you getting double audio or anything?
Awarded to Dr. Cyan Proctor.
No.
He is from Tempe, Arizona, and serves as the pilot for today's mission. He's 51 years old.
A little bit low, though.
Oh, I can turn that up.
Poet, artist, and active voice in the space exploration.
There we go.
She's passionate about encouraging others to use their unique space to inspire.
Can you make it full screen?
within their reach.
'Cause,
I had everyday
beyond as
astronaut
part of her
left, but,
space.
Yeah, every idea astronaut's not really talking about anything right now.
Awarded the seat of prosperity after being selected as the top entrant of an independently judged online business competition conducted by the Shift4Shop e-commerce platform. Here's more about Dr. Proctor and her love of exploring planet Earth.
The day of launch, I'm going to be thinking about how my
Those
entire
gloves are
life
cool.
has led up to this moment.
Those gloves.
I was born on the island.
Oh,
of
yeah.
Guam, and the reason why I was
The
born
entire
there is
suit's
that
like
my dad
really awesome.
for the
Every other
government,
space company hasn't really done a good
also,
job with their suits, but
has
Right.
always been a part of
Yeah,
me.
those
Blue
are-
Origins was weird.
When I
Is
got
that just me?
call,
Yeah.
that Zoom,
Yeah, SpaceX are
and
cool.
Jared was on there, and he said that they picked me for the prosperity seat, that I was going to go to space with him and be part of the Inspiration 4. It really was like getting the golden ticket for Willy Wonka. Everything in my life
I hope they
finally
let
came
him
into
keep the
focus,
suits.
and I realized that it was
They made an
all
auction off, I believe.
this moment in time. I won the prosperity seat for Inspiration 4, and I did that not as a geoscientist or an explorer or an analog astronaut, which are all on my resume. I actually won this as a poet and an artist. We Star Trek generation, that idea of a just, equitable, diverse, and inclusive space, or a Jedi space. I'm going to be the first Black female pilot of a spacecraft ever. And to me, that just blows me away. And I want to encourage the next generation to dream that this is possible. And a Jedi space, that's
I wonder
what
if Blue Origin
I'm
is going to
Dr.
put
Simon
like
Proctor. I'm
analog
the mission
tickers and
pilot
stuff
for
like that instead of
Inspiration
touchscreen in their New Glenn rocket.
Coming up on T-minus 45 minutes. We're waiting for the launch director to give instructions to the team.
Complete. The team is ready for crew access arm.
44 minutes, man.
For non-urgent
So-
cargo conditions, brief the CE or LD, and they'll approve aborting the countdown. For urgent issues affecting the safety of the operation, operators shall call hold, hold, hold on the countdown net. Launch control will abort the launch auto sequence immediately and proceed into the launch abort sequence. At T-minus 10 seconds, launch control will be hands-off and relying on automated abort criteria for the remainder of the count. Operators advise the launch director whether structural
I
breakup
wonder what Elon
or
feels
fire
on
is
nights
imminent
like
or
this.
occurring per Dragon manual
Putting
escape flight
people,
rules.
lives at risk
In the
here.
event of a fire alarm, key operators will remain.
I don't know.
Like, I'm sure you have
Alarm
this
is
high level of
evaluated.
confidence
In
to
the
do
event
something
that
like this,
personnel
but
safety is
man,
threatened, evacuate to the
Still gotta be
I bet you Demo 2, dude. Demo 2, he was
Launch
like
control, you may proceed with arming the crew arm for movement.
really stressed out. I think you
So
could do
you've
that.
heard the instructions and a great view.
I bet you it's about the same
Structure looking down the crew arm. The
as
team has been pulled. The 7 operators on Falcon
yes,
9 in
nice.
firing range at Kennedy
Correct.
Space Center.
I feel that it's the same as
Go for propellant load of the Falcon 9 and launch.
the NASA administrator
Go.
whenever they're about to do a launch.
Go. We're moving into the next of the major steps. Retracting the crew access arm.
are they already in
This
there?
will take a couple of
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah, they got placed in there like 2 hours ago.
The launch escape
wow.
system, and then at T-minus 35 minutes.
They
begin
just piss in their
propellant
suit or
load
what?
of the Falcon 9.
That's what I was. Yeah.
And sure,
Yes,
background
yes,
here at Hawthorne,
For the whole 3 days,
watching
they're just
the
going to
arm
piss in their
moving
suit?
away.
No. They've got lavatories in there. The thing is, whenever they miss,
Be good for Falcon 9 launch. Range is ready to support. All systems remain green and go.
this is like really incredible.
It is incredible.
Anyway, guys, whoever is watching the live stream, please stop by, make some comments, talk with us. It's going to be really awesome.
Arm continuing to move away. Once it's in position, we ought to hear the instructions to the crew to close and lock their visors, and then arm the escape system on the Dragon spacecraft.
Mm.
The countdown clock
Okay.
is continuing to tick, and we are now at T-minus
What kind of experiments are they
42
running, do you know?
minutes.
I don't know. They didn't really say.
We're
At least I
standing
didn't find
by.
anything that said that.
The crew access arm has retracted, and that is one of the last.
This is nuts,
visual
especially
milestones, that will
just how like commercialized they've made it. They even made like the inside
back here.
of the access arm
include
like nice. And they got those cool LED lights and everything. It's like so cool, man.
Retracted selected, we should
Space
hear the
age. They made it
call-out
like Star
that the
Trek,
launch
you know?
escape system is armed, and from there, we'll hear that Falcon 9 prop load has started.
We saw our Inspiration 4 crew members suit up about 3 hours ago in our brand new suit up room located in the Falcon support building.
Access arm retraction complete.
That is good news. The crew access arm has finished retracting away from the vehicle. So the team suited up at...
Elon Musk is basically our Zephram Cochrane. You know who that is?
Close visors and arm the launch.
I was gonna say Iron Man, but you know.
No, Zephram Cochrane's way better.
SpaceX, we're go for section 7.
He was in Star Trek. He was the person that discovered warp, and it was after the World Wars, and the whole planet was in disarray. And Zephram Cochrane and a select little holdout of scientists
Make sure they're locked and sealed.
got a
The next
spaceship
step will be arming the launch escape
and
system.
into warp.
That's where
in a
the
test
Super
run,
Draco thrusters
while
are enabled.
another,
so if anything happens from here to the countdown or flight,
ship
Dragon
was
has
going
the
by,
ability to leave
and so they
carry
pick
the
up a
crew
warp signature
into a safe.
And so Earth had always been
out
like,
in the ocean.
you know, in
Waiting
their
now for the
code,
call
they
out.
don't disturb
Launch
anything
escape
that hasn't
system
hit
is armed.
some like warp 2 or something like that.
Mhm.
And so they pick up the warp signature and made first contact. And that jump started their whole species and got them out of the
John,
war
you
and got the
mentioned the
whole
launch
entire
escape
planet to
system
rally
and
around
Launch
them.
escape system is verified armed.
Oh, okay. So that's where they came in the Federation.
It was the very beginning of them joining the that
And there's that
alliance
call out,
and,
the launch
and starting space travel and all that.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be extremely exciting. So my thing is, like, let's say I was in their shoes, I would have to train my bladder for months because,
There's
like,
that call out that the launch escape.
I drink too much water, and sitting in there for 2 hours waiting for launch.
And again, this is the first
Yeah.
Of its kind escape system.
And then how long could you get out of that
provide
seat and
this
be able to
escape
actually
capability
urinate too?
all the way to orbit.
Depends on launch time, dude. There's a 5-hour launch window.
You can hear the team here is getting really excited as we march towards T0.
So the launch escape system, let's talk a little
I'd
bit
be
more
terrified.
about that. It utilizes...
I'd
Would you
be
do this?
excited.
Would you do this, Cole?
that are
100%. I applaud. Yeah, I'd do it. I would 100% do it. If I ever have a launch opportunity.
You're going to be in there?
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt.
There are 8 Super Draco engines.
So see the Super Draco engines, that's what we're talking
We
about.
named Super Dracos. They differ from the regular Dracos just a little bit. The Draco engines
Is that what's sticking out of the
that
side?
are on the Dragon that help
This thing?
in orbit manovers.
Yeah, so that's the exhaust. The engines are inside it.
Vacuum space. A
They
Super
actually
Draco
are
engine uses
like
15,000
the fuel that they use is super
pounds
toxic.
of
So
torque.
whenever they're landing,
Altogether,
those
it
jets
uses over
fire,
120,000
depending if they need it or not.
force. Is what it's needed
And
in case of an emergency to accelerate the Dragon capsule.
whenever it lands,
away from any
you
time.
can't. The reason why you can't just like automatically rush up and go, you know, get the astronauts and everything. One of the big reasons is they need to go around and make sure that that chemical that the rocket uses isn't being leaked out. And if you breathe that in, it can kill you like really rapidly.
Safety very
The only reason why they use that chemical though is because it is the only or one of the few fuel sources that one lasts a long time in a vacuum space, but also has a high enough energy output to keep it
all the way to orbit.
to do what it needs to do. Yeah, sorry.
That launch escape
I would also
system
like to say
on-
I'm just learning like
We
all of
actually,
this. I have so much more to learn.
Disarm that, and we'll be relying only on the Draco engines from there on out.
This is pretty terrifying.
Now, next up, we will be having.
I'll be excited, dude.
And
I would be incredibly excited.
when
I will go to space one
when
day.
Falcon
I
comes
will.
alive. We begin to load.
I'll invite you to come watch.
And
there.
rocket grade kerosene, also known as RP1, into both the first and second stages.
They
So
had
it's already
one,
locked and loaded.
I think the last launch that they did with their satellites, Starlink 2 satellites, that was their 10th launch.
We were
I'm
talking
not sure on this one.
Dracos.
Surprised they don't use a fresh one for the people.
You will hear call
That's what they were talking about. This entire rocket, and besides the second stage, I believe, is been used before.
Although that's probably a good thing. You probably don't want to use a brand new one. Like at least shoot it once or twice. And then
Dragons
we'll
like
see.
to program to do different things. How long the engines will burn, how long it'll wait to coast to apogee, what it'll do to come back down when the parachutes are deployed.
Hey, let me ask my friend down in
the crew giving the call out, and the ground echoing it. That just
How many
indicates
times
we
this
are
one's been
moving
reused?
farther and farther away from the launch pad. And so if a contingency arose, different sequences would be performed in the Dragon flight computer.
Should have an answer in a couple minutes.
Seconds away from the start of propellant loading.
Dude, it's been hectic.
36 minutes,
Not
26
hectic.
seconds.
It hasn't been like bad. It's been
for Crew Dragon's 4th launch with people. Today, the first
very rapidly moving
lower
up to
orbit.
this. Everybody's been busy at SpaceX. It's quite nuts how busy they've been.
Not bad.
Now we should hear the call out right at T-minus 35 minutes.
Third.
Propellant load begins.
This is the third flight this booster's done.
Start on the first stage with liquid oxygen and RP1 kerosene fuel. We'll also begin loading
Liquid oxygen and RP1. Okay. This is going to be great.
Take us, a little
History,
bit.
boys. History. What's up, Dusty? How you doing? Thank you so much for stopping by. Yes, this is history. It's going to be incredibly interesting. Especially with everything going on. Sorry about that. That's my friend.
Pad 39A, and at the very top is the.
They're sending pictures back and forth in the group chat that I'm in, and and it's got some secret proprietary stuff inside of it, so can't show it. So.
AKA, these are non-professional astronauts. They're people like
non-professional astronauts
that
like
are they're going to be going up.
Dusty, what makes you
amateur astronauts?
Kilometers.
Yeah.
And they're going to be orbiting.
Dusty, what makes you the most excited about this launch? Is it how high it's going? Who's inside it? Who's like what part?
A little louder. The excitement in the
You know,
building
aren't
here.
we really
at
all
SpaceX headquarters
non-professional
is certainly
astronauts?
growing,
Propellant load has started.
Dude, okay, can we talk about this?
especially with that call. Right
That is true because we're literally on a rock in a void,
T-minus 35
traveling at what,
They're right on time.
30,000 miles an hour?
Load starts
You want to tweet that? That's a
on
great.
The fill and drain valves for the first and second stage fuel tanks and the first stage liquid oxygen tank now coming open. Ground system pumps beginning to push the propellant into the Falcon 9. As we said, that'll continue all the way down to T-minus 2 minutes. We'll hear call-outs and bring status as we go through the countdown. But currently, everything looking good at pad 39A for the launch of the Inspiration 4 crew in just over 34 minutes.
So our crews, like Kate mentioned, are at the top of the vehicle, sitting inside of the Dragon capsule. Jared, Cyan, Haley, and Chris have been training for this journey pretty much ever since the announcement that they'd all been selected as crewmates for the Inspiration 4 mission in March.
Yes.
What's super cool is that they are going through the same exact Dragon training as our NASA astronauts. In order to get to visit low Earth orbit, our teams at SpaceX have spent hundreds of hours teaching the crew about orbital mechanics, how to live in space and microgravity, and even running simulations of what a full
I tweeted,
mission would look
aren't we
like
all
while
non-professional
seated inside of
astronauts?
Dragon.
Good luck tonight, Elon.
Yeah, the Inspiration 4 crew has completed numerous simulations, including a 30-hour and 12-hour end-to-end simulation in our Dragon trainer. They train.
Where's Steven?
They
We gotta have Steven. Where's he at, man?
They flew
Did he say he
was going to join?
together, did some aerobatics.
Well, he said he was supposed to be here at least.
Experienced some real G's before this mission today.
Yeah, they even got to
How much
pilot,
training did they do?
The jet,
They did a lot of training.
which was super cool to see.
Third flight of booster is amazing. Yes, the distance is amazing. Yeah, it's going to be really incredible, especially with us being,
here in Washington.
you know, the last time we went this high was in a shuttle mission to repair the Hubble telescope. Yeah, that's incredible. But also, I want to mention how safe this
almost 10 hours of hiking.
Nuke said earlier. This seems incredibly safe, and yes, that's the point. It's kind of slightly risky, but
yeah, some great.
Even for
all
someone
within margin.
who was like terrified of this stuff,
Their Falcon 9 booster that is sitting on the
this
pad,
seems
and that
really
is
safe
them with their
and proven.
Yeah, and that's the point. We need safety in commercial spaceflight. That's just what it is.
Team has studied nearly
Rapid progress of SpaceX, including this. Yes, and there's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done,
crew recorded,
especially when it comes to training the astronauts. They spent a long time being trained and developing their physique to be able to handle space. And if we want to make this truly commercial, we're going to have to trim this down to 2 days, 3 days for
away.
Maybe even shorter. Make it look like an airplane travel,
because we had
right?
a lot of.
So if we really want space to be open, we're gonna have to figure all these things out, especially medically.
Training and looking at what the mission overview is going to look like.
Talked a lot about teamwork and the SpaceX culture.
Week 2 of training at SpaceX complete. It was a heavy week.
Here's the
training week at SpaceX, and it was intense.
A lot of good building blocks. So you start in the beginning of the week with smaller things like losing comms to, okay, some circumstances are not so good, and then some get really bad where you have to, plan an emergency deorbit, which we initiate ourselves in that.
But man, challenging. I didn't realize how much upper body strength I need, so I need to hit the gym the next couple of months and build up some more muscles.
Today was my favorite day of training because today was the medical training day.
Learn some more about some of the medical experiments we're going to be working with and helping to advance what we know about humans in spaceflight. We've all contributed all sorts of fluids now to the greater scientific cause.
But the best part is we all got in our spacesuits together.
We got to wear spacesuits, strap into the simulator, and feel like we were actually going to space.
Hello again, Chris here. And August.
They did a brilliant job with the Netflix. At least I've seen the first episode. The first episode was brilliant.
Oh, did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched the first episode. Started on the second.
And you still didn't watch The Wire?
An incredible week.
No, dude. What? So like, I had a time limit for this. It was either watch this or watch The Wire. After this launch, I'll go watch the. I think
about 7 months ago.
the second episode of The Wire. Okay.
No, you gotta start with the first.
Try on.
I already watched the first.
Maneuvers in
Like
that
a while back.
Comfortable.
I just got busy with other things.
And I am just so.
I will watch it.
I mean, this is the spacesuit I'm gonna wear, leaving the planet.
I'm just so honored and thankful.
30 minutes, T minus 30.
Part of this historic mission and SpaceX team.
Time on the pad in their chairs seems tough with 3.5 hours. I thought it was 2, but it could be around 3.5.
And we're really excited to be part of this.
All right. Well, thanks everybody.
But yeah, it is.
Fantastic.
It is rough.
I get all antsy if I'm 15 minutes sitting in an airplane the way we land,
So my biggest thing I wouldn't be antsy. I mean, I probably would be antsy. I'd probably have nerves, be like, oh my god, my ass is
Dude, I'm
strapped
sure
to a rocket.
they all got to get a little,
So incredible to get an inside look to their training.
Or something.
Only
But my thing is, the biggest thing for me would be like, okay, it's been an hour, I need to pee because I pee so much. I drink so much water. I would be like, okay, I gotta pee.
As a result,
and I even if I was wearing a space diaper, I would.
Humans in space is often only.
I mean, obviously, I'd probably get over and just pee.
Or
But
government that conducted the research.
rather not. You know what I mean?
Is if the data from all those missions could be made available to the broader science community for research. Inspiration 4 is a step in that direction.
The crew of Inspiration 4 will conduct research in orbit that has the potential to improve human health here on Earth and for future space explorers. One of the cool things about this mission is that every
progressive
biomedical
flight,
data
I'm sure
collected
everything
during the
gets
mission,
tweaked and
things like
shortened
heart
and
rhythm
more
and rate,
efficient.
blood oxygen saturation, among others.
Yeah, if we want commercial spaceflight, especially in Starship, like he wants people to be able to get on a boat, go to the launch pad out in the ocean, and launch. It's going to be a pretty short
Translational Research
minutes.
Institute for Space Health.
It's like, yeah, sure, you can book a flight, but you got to go through our 16-week training program.
Before, during, and after.
Yeah, it's like it's a great start.
Part of
right?
that
It's a great start.
You got to be doing it.
Trish is a virtual institute that finds and funds disruptive science and medical technology.
And we kind of like talk down on what they're doing here, but it's revolutionary. Nobody else is doing it. It's absolutely incredible.
Kate with
And
Diana earlier putting on.
I look forward to working here. I just want to say that I look forward to working here and solving the issue.
You know what? You know, I'm so amazed that I still haven't figured out how to
understand motion sickness
lenses.
and sort of the ups and downs in space. That is something I'm super excited about because
it might just be a reflection.
Get a lot of motion sickness here, and so I'm hoping that it helps a lot of people.
Maybe he's like panicking.
And
you can't back out now. If you're the person that cancels the thing, Like, imagine just being like, nope, 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 nope. Nope.
Is a science mission in addition.
Especially,
I'm not wearing
a mask.
You know, it's a
Yeah.
science mission basically. And
What if he was like, I made
I can't believe
$100 I'm getting the fuck out.
I can't believe we're restricting their freedom by making them wear those spacesuits in space.
Oh my god, dude.
While you're in space, so lack of
The government should not be infringing on their rights like that.
in your body being concentrated.
Netflix series Mars. I can't believe it's not on anymore. It was epic. No, I never watched the series Mars.
Is
But
that
I
what
did.
it was like? That there was like
planning to use
documentary
that,
slash
ultrasound reader,
like,
which they
future
just plug
kinda show,
right
like
into
Elon
an
was in
iPad
it
to do
or something like that?
readings live. Crew,
I did see Netflix series, or not series. It was a movie with Matt Damon in which they altered his genetics.
Going up
While he altered his genes while he was alive
awareness and help fundraise
to live on Titan.
to Children's Research Hospital.
It made like no
The
sense.
Children's Research Hospital opened in Memphis, Tennessee in 1962, and ever since has been committed to finding cures for kids with cancer and other life-threatening diseases.
While we're talking about space, you got to
regardless of
show a
their
UFO
socioeconomic
token.
status,
You know,
race, belief, or ethnicity. St. Jude has invented treatments that
UFO
help
token
overall childhood cancer
is,
survival rate from 20%.
It's now a
to more
gaming
than
token.
80%
You know, it got
in the United
transferred
States.
over to
in
a
developing
gaming
countries,
token.
that
So it's
number
gonna
is
Really?
not
this whole
that
metaverse.
high, with fewer than 1 in 5 children
and
with cancer
owning
surviving.
like property
St.
and
Jude has a
owning,
bold mission to change
NFTs
that.
The
are
Inspiration 4
like,
mission is part of an
breedable
ambitious
and
fundraising
all-
goal
and
to
dude,
give
it's nutty
hope
what
to
they
all
freaking
kids
turned
with
this whole
cancer
thing
and
into.
other
It's
life-threatening
crazy.
diseases.
I cannot wait
$200 million
to bring John on and talk to him
Very
about
$100 million.
him being in the UFO documentary. I was watching it, was not expecting him to be on it, and then like they showed a guy
has raised about $30 million
just
so
like
far.
facing away from the camera, right? So like he was
If
like
you're
this,
watching on YouTube, you'll notice
right?
that there's a donation.
And he was just sitting there
button
soldering.
where you can make your own contribution.
And as soon as I saw the hair, I was like, "That's John." And he turned around, he was like, "Hello," and I was like,
and give what you can to help.
it was just so exciting to see him.
Beyond the good, this mission
and
was for science.
I never thought he would do something like
This mission
that.
is also exciting.
And he talks about what he talked to us about in the podcast, the original
some footage
of the podcast. Yeah, yes, docudrama. The Mars one. Yeah,
I didn't know it was by Nat
ever
Geo.
by a factor
neither did I. Okay, so you see that cupola right there? You see how it's like a glass dome?
Yeah.
That's gonna be their window into space, so they could see.
Oh wow.
It's huge. Yeah, it's the biggest window, and I think they just did it. Well, one, they did it because it's cool.
You know, this is going to
So they could just
outer
climb up
space,
into
so it
that and
needs
look
to
out
be,
into space. So they can basically almost stick their whole head out of the spaceship.
all the
That's
loads that
cool.
it will see while it's out in space. It's a
Yep, and
view to look at.
Blue
of the
Origin keeps
Earth
touting.
is a fully functioning.
Blue Origin keeps saying they have
portion
the
of
biggest
space
window in space.
Yeah, we were talking about
Not anymore.
earlier, and this capsule is being used for the second time on this mission. It previously supported the Crew 1 mission in November of last year. But
This is
this
terrifying.
cupola is to
You still wouldn't go, man?
SpaceX, we're debuting it on
You
this
wouldn't go?
mission, and it is there's a view of
But
it
yeah,
there
but yeah,
in
I
an
would go,
anechoic chamber.
Not this
and
time,
it's
but, like,
just incredible
and, like,
that
whenever
we're
it becomes
basically
affordable
gonna
to me, I
have
would do it.
360
Okay.
views
Well,
of
yeah,
space,
obviously,
from
we're saying like it's
the,
affordable and or
forward
free.
hatch
Like
there
they gave you the
of
opportunity.
the Crew Dragon capsule.
Yeah.
And this is an animation showing how its position in Crew Dragon is a little different. So Crew Dragon used to dock autonomously, or does dock autonomously to the International Space Station. That port there being underneath the nose cone, and that was removed.
Is it like
and for this
USB where
mission,
they
it's
enter
now
it once and
replaced
like, oh
by
no,
the
they gotta
cupola
flip it
as
over
we
and then try it again? Like, oh no, it was
It's a
actually
new
the
piece of
first way
hardware
we
that
tried it.
I'm so stoked to see.
That's
launched.
funny.
As we await T0 in about 23
That's really
minutes,
funny.
the ground operations teams are doing a series.
It's like a
of
bad parking job. It's like
Dragon and Falcon 9 are ready for launch. Let's take a look at what the ascent portion of the mission will look like.
Yeah, dark
Once we hit T0,
They should add
watch Falcon 9 and Dragon
like
lift off
external
the
speakers.
historic
Obviously, this wouldn't work.
39A and make
Just
their
be funny
at about
to
50 into flight. Falcon 9's engines
I'll let you listen to
throttle
this.
down to help pass through the period of maximum dynamic pressure on the rocket, or what we typically refer to as max Q. And it's worth noting that once we hit max Q, the vehicle will be going supersonic.
Once we are through the period of maximum dynamic pressure, we can throttle up our Merlin engines again. From here, We are about 2.5 minutes into flight, and we have a series of 3 events that happen in rapid succession. First is MECO, or main engine cutoff. This is where all 9 Merlin engines shut off in preparation for stage separation. Stage separation is where the first stage detaches from the second stage, with the first stage making its way back to Earth for landing as the second stage continues on its journey with the third event,
which is SCS-1, or Second Engine Start 1, and that is where the Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage lights up and propels the second stage along with our Inspiration 4 crew to orbit. As Stage 2 heads towards its targeted drop-off orbit, Stage 1 will execute 2 burns in order to make its way back to Earth. The first is the entry burn, which is where 3 of those 9 Merlin 1D engines will reignite and then shut down, and that'll help slow the stage down in preparation for entry back into the Earth's atmosphere.
While the first stage is heading back to Earth, the second stage will cut off its 1 Merlin engine that was ignited right after stage separation. Once this happens,
so awesome
we'll wait for confirmation of a good orbital insertion. About 90 seconds after Dragon gets into orbit, Falcon 9 will land back on Earth. The landing burn, a single engine burn, will bring the vehicle speed down rapidly in order to land on the drone ship about 9.5 minutes into the mission.
While Falcon 9 first stage is landing, Dragon is preparing to separate from the second stage. At about 3 minutes after the second stage gets into orbit, we should have a great view of Dragon with its 4-person crew drifting away from the second stage. Once Dragon is a short distance away, it will begin checking out its Draco maneuvering thrusters to make sure Dragon continues to increase separation distance from the second stage.
It's getting very exciting here in Hawthorne. The nose cone deploy sequence will initiate just before T plus 12 minutes and end around the T plus 15-minute mark. We do expect to see our first glimpse of the Dragon cupola in outer space at this time.
We've just heard it. T minus 20 minutes, 5 seconds counting. Fuel load is complete. Now we're under 20 minutes to liftoff. It's been a wonderful day for today's Inspiration 4 mission, the first all-civilian mission to space. And if you joined us earlier in the broadcast, we had a pretty important question for the Inspiration 4 crew that remains unresolved. For those of you who missed that, here's your chance to weigh in.
Dude, it's just exciting. Do you remember Super Heavy?
Wars, Star Trek, and then one of my other favorites is
Super Heavy launch was ecstatic. They were screaming the entire time, and especially whenever it launched. Like as soon as the engines started lighting, people went ballistic. And it was awesome.
Those used to be true. I really think I'm a Battlestar Galactica guy, to be honest.
There's no question it's Star Wars.
No way.
I'm a Star Wars fan.
Star Trek's where it's
for
at.
sure. I would
Star
say
Wars
that
show.
if I had to
Star
guess,
Star
it's a
Trek
split
is the
crew
future.
between Star Wars and Star Trek. I don't know if anyone else would have dropped Battlestar Galactica. I don't know on that one.
Can't beat Captain Adama.
I wonder who thought of the couplet idea.
Star Wars.
I'm not sure.
Diana
Not
Star
gonna take that.
Wars.
Probably could ask.
Chris is the wild card, but I think
But it was absolutely great idea because now Elon can say we actually have the biggest windows in space,
Probably
and just like a little bit more stab at them. So
sure.
Bezos can then file another lawsuit against them. How many lawsuits have they filed against SpaceX right now? Like 40? He's been doing one a day or some shit like that.
That's so stupid.
I wanted to be
What a
Bones.
waste.
I kind of am. I'm a medical officer, so.
I don't know if we're like completely unified around that. I mean, there is other, sci-fi, spacey stuff that comes before Star Trek.
Okay.
They don't know they're wrong. Like that just they learn that over time. Like
What happened?
I like Jared's last little comment there. They don't know they're wrong. When you're the commander of the mission, I wonder what your vote counts. Just under T minus 18 minutes. Everything continues to go well. We're getting ready to start.
Dude, it's so cool how cold that gets.
That'll bring us another step closer to launch at 8:02:56 p.m. Eastern Daylight Saving Time.
Dude, it's gonna get nuts.
I'm going to take Dragon into its orbit of about 190 by 575 kilometers. Shortly after that, we will raise Dragon's orbit to 575 kilometers in a circular orbit, higher than the space station, higher than the space telescope. for 3 days, a series of amazing views that Jared and the team should have.
So I just asked my friend about the cupola because he was directly involved with that area. So hopefully get an answer.
This crew will see about 15 orbits a day at this altitude.
About the cupola, the glass dome. That's called a cupola.
15 sunrises and 15 sunsets, which should be pretty incredible.
Dusty asked, I wonder who thought of the cupola idea.
John mentioned the International Space Station is going to be a little bit lower
We'll
than
find
where
you an
this
answer,
crew
Dusty.
is going to.
I asked her that. I want to make a
Because
question.
the
I asked her that.
International Space Station is closer. It takes a little less time to orbit the Earth, so they see 16 orbits a day relative to what this Inspiration 4 crew
This
will
is nuts,
do,
man.
15 orbits a day.
Absolutely nuts. I am so happy this is happening.
I do want to comment on what we're seeing on screen. This is the Falcon 9 rocket.
Launch load has started.
That was the call.
T-minus 20.
To liquid oxygen loading.
T-minus 16.
You start to see some white clouds around Falcon 9. That is normal and expected for us at this stage in the countdown. We are topping off that super chilled liquid oxygen. And when it reaches the warmer ambient
It
air,
uses RP1 and liquid oxygen, right? Kerosene.
Now, if you notice that the second stage there is a slightly whiter shade than the first stage.
I know gunpowder and cannon fuse. That's about as far as I got.
It previously supported the GPS 4 and GPS 3.5.
What is the TNT brand that was always used for like the Looney Tunes?
One of this year. So
Acme.
that booster is
Acme. Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
The Dragon capsule is making its second
Just an
flight
just an Acme branded cannon.
on the NASA Crew 1 mission to the International Space Station.
Yeah,
So that's why the second stage looks a little different than the first stage there, just underneath it.
Again, if you're just now joining us, you are tuned in to the first all-civilian mission to orbit.
This
known
is
as
getting
You want to hear
Four.
something fucked up about
It's
Acme
getting very
and Looney
exciting
Tunes?
here.
Yeah,
We're
sure.
just
Let's
a
hear
little
it.
Over T-minus
All right,
15
so you know the show,
minutes
the Roadrunner
from
and
T0.
Coyote and the Roadrunner.
And we
whatever?
started
Yeah.
and the
Can you turn
Coyote
down the volume a little bit?
at
So I can hear you?
T-minus 4 hours with the
The
crew
Coyote would
walking
chase
out,
the Roadrunner, you know,
of Hangar X. They
and the
made their
Coyote would
way
always
over to
fall
the
off a
Falcon
cliff and
Fort
like,
building,
you
where they
know,
got suited
Mhm.
up.
catastrophic
And then we saw
failure,
the Teslas
and it
ride
would
up
like
to the pad,
like you couldn't survive
up the
that.
fixed
Well, he
structure
didn't.
and
Those
walk
were
down that
it was all
bridge
different
through
coyotes.
axis arm that we
Oh
saw
my God, you.
from Falcon 9, to the tower. And it's hard to believe that we're now under 50
Have you seen the Adult Swim?
mission to orbit.
And
these are four
like the Adult Swim version of when Coyote finally caught the Roadrunner.
going to space for 3 days.
He went into a depression. It's like, what do I do in my life? He just ends up committing suicide. Like it's absolutely terrible.
Going so fast that they won't fall back to Earth.
Oh my God, dude, I'm so excited. I've been sitting here for what, an hour, and I already have to pee. I would be screwed if I was them.
I can't even like handle it on the airplane, knowing that I can't pee.
That's what happens. Yeah, it's
Like
like
I
oh,
literally
can't
had,
pee.
I had a flight attendant like threaten to call a fire or the marshal on me from when we ran. Like I had to pee so bad when we were landing.
In their near future.
Oh my God, it was terrible. And everybody on the plane in the back were like, "Just let it pee. It's like it's right there. Like no one cares. It's right there. Let
It's a
it
live
pee."
view of
And if you guys are just joining in, we're talking about how ridiculously hard it is to not pee or not need to pee whenever you don't need to. Like if you can't pee and you think, okay, I can't pee, your body's like, yeah, you need to pee right now.
I imagine
Right now.
Really need
they're
to
now
pee right
things
now.
starting to get a little more serious.
Speaking of that, dude, I gotta go pee. Holy crap!
It's like they legally
on
can't
the
hold me
task at
against
hand,
not
which is going to
pee,
space
so.
in just
In this situation, I'm pretty sure they can.
No, I don't. I mean on a plane. but
very-
No,
no,
yeah,
If you've been following along,
they're infringing
they
on
do
my
have a
rights.
Netflix
They're infringing on my
documentary
rights.
Following their
Yeah.
journey all the way up until this point.
Infringing on my rights. Be right
And
back.
the crew has just been so incredible. It's been so amazing to watch them throughout this whole process, and very excited to see them strapped in their seats, ready to go.
I wonder if UFO tokens taken off because
Just
of
inside
SpaceX
T-minus
launch or
13
not.
minutes,
It's up
counting
to
down.
25%
Everything is still
today.
looking good for launch of Falcon 9 and Dragon.
That's a
8
fun
hours,
ERC
2 minutes,
project.
56 seconds.
Constant growth
Eastern
since I bought
Daylight
it.
Saving Time coming up very shortly.
I bought like a
Falcon
few
9 did
hundred
begin
million
propellant
dollars
loading
or
on
a
time
few
in
hundred million
T-minus
tokens for
35
like
minutes.
$100,
Loading of
and
the
it jumped up to
RP1
like
kerosene fuel onto the
$1,500
second stage is
and then pulled
complete.
back
They closed
to
out right on time.
like a
Fuel
little
loading
under
is continuing
1,000,
on the larger
and I
first
loaded up
stage
back
tank.
up
It's
some
about
more.
half full right now. That'll finish at T
And now
minus
it's
6
jumping
minutes.
back up
We ought to
again.
hear
It's
that
awesome.
call out
Why
on
do
the
they go
webcam.
inside so early?
We're continuing to load
I can't make your
liquid oxygen
comment pop
onto
up,
the
but
first
why do they
stage
go inside
and
so early?
into the
Deadly
second
gases, or
stage
why
tanks.
aren't they put in later
Now
in the
the liquid
process?
oxygen load will
It's a good
wrap up at
question.
about
Let's
T
ask Cole
minus
when he
3
gets back.
minutes on first stage, T minus 2 minutes on the second stage.
Probably,
Reminder, now that we are into propellant loading,
I'm sure they have some type
cannot
of
stop the
process
countdown
that
and
makes
try to
sense.
launch later in the window. So if a problem arises that requires holding the countdown clock, those dreaded words, hold, we don't want to hear, we would have to scrub for the night and try again. We have a
11
launch
minutes.
opportunity tomorrow, just a little bit later, if conditions allow. Condition of the Falcon 9 being go, the range is go. Weather. We've had great cooperation out of the Florida weather, both ground level, upper altitude, and around the world at the contingency landing sites. On the Dragon spacecraft, Dragon mission director and that team has reported no issues. They've done their communications checkouts. The crew access arm that you can see.
Oh, I'm back, dude. It is beautiful. My parents are watching it in the living room. They're so excited.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See the four-person
Go back here. There we go. Anyway, my parents are watching it on a large TV in the living room, and the Falcon 9 looks so pretty. It's awesome.
Cool.
They're going to configure their crew displays.
Oh, by the way, guys, I'm not sure if anybody's watching, but I am wearing my Falcon 9 Super Heavy.
That'll provide on vehicle health.
So it's a Falcon 9 being launched, but it's got the DNA
5 minutes be into terminal
for humans, well, obviously humans, or any other DNA that we're setting up there.
Continue to call out the countdown net as we
But it's very, very personal to me because I want to go into aerospace medicine. So I would like to be the doctors for astronauts.
So there was a good question that Dusty just asked that you could probably answer.
Why do they go inside so early? Deadly gases. Why aren't they put in later in the process? I think it all has to do with checks. You know, making sure everything's nominal and everything, and it's just best to put them in that
and then
time.
we'll be moving from there into the
It takes a long time to perform these checks, and I personally would rather go sit in a shuttle for 2 hours and be sure like each test is done, performed multiple times, and they've all come correct. Everything's set and ready to go. Whereas me going in 30 minutes and be like, yeah, we're just gonna wing one test run. If it works, it works. See you later, bro. That's my guess.
SpaceX Dragon, our display.
I do not know. I'm so new to all this rocket stuff, so that's my guess.
Copy that,
Just want to say.
Dragon. And it has been an absolute honor to prepare you for this historic flight.
Oh boy.
Today, you are truly inspiring the world. We wish you a great mission. Good luck, Godspeed, and enjoy the ride.
Yes.
So, Kate, it looks like we passed through another event, the T-minus 10-minute call up to the crew to reconfigure. That final message from the ground team as they get ready to have Inspiration 4 team inspire the world. On the Falcon 9 side, we're doing the last T-minus 10-minute checks. The next major event coming up, I think you've got that event.
Yeah, that was, I just want to note that was SpaceX Core, which stands for the Crew Operations and Resource Engineer. That was the voice of Sarah Gillis, and she is basically the primary resource to the crew. We can see some excitement there on the right-hand side of your screen as the crew, I think they're really starting to realize that they're going to space in under 10 minutes. Now, the next major event that we have coming up.
How do you come to terms with that?
T-minus 7
They're
minutes.
about to go to space in 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Chill. Engine chill is
It only takes about like a minute to get there.
as we chill down
Pretty
some of
crazy.
the hardware in the engine. We're actually going to flow a little bit of the super chilled, densified liquid oxygen through the turbo pumps and allow that hardware to basically come down, the temperature come down. This allows us to avoid
Super
any,
chilled, liquefied
thermal shock
oxygen
to
through the turbo
hardware
pumps.
when the full flow of super chilled liquid oxygen occurs at startup.
Turn a little
Makes sense.
swim through the
So there on
Blasner.
your screen, Dragon Resilience with the Inspiration 4 crew strapped in their seats there at the top of the rocket.
Man.
This is getting exciting, dude. It looks so pretty just sitting there.
All civilians
All that condensation.
to orbit, and they are going to space in 7.5
And this is
minutes.
the Falcon 9 is what they use
They
for
will be
satellites too,
ascending
like all
to
the
an
time, don't they?
altitude,
Yeah, but they don't have the.
Like they've done these
Earth
hundreds and
and
hundreds of
orbiting
times,
Earth
right?
I think they just passed their 102nd flight. I
Hold on a
believe.
second.
Yeah, it's. I think the only
No,
one.
I'll do it like after like
There's that
at least 10,000
there
are
on your
done.
screen.
Oh my god,
Is
dude!
Nebraska
It might be out of commission by then.
next to him,
Starship might take
Proctor
over.
pilot.
There you go.
Next
I'll
to
do
her to
that.
the right, Commander.
But at 10,000 missions on Starship, dude, come on. They're gonna be better things after that. I would say minimum for you 500.
Stage 1 engine chill has started.
All right, there's that call that stage 1 engine chill has started.
Oh boy.
We don't really have a good view, but right now at the base of the Falcon 9.
Dude, I'm getting excited, dude. Like I'm really enjoying this. This is really exciting.
This is gonna be crazy.
Flame bucket
Should I take a shot?
chilling in the turbo
I'm drinking.
pumps in preparation for going.
Almost can't believe it. Like a fish out of water.
Seconds. Nice view on top of the fixed service
Yeah.
structure, looking down at Dragon.
This is gonna be fun.
Transporter
It is
Rector
crazy. I
was
mean, it
strung
technically
back,
is a fish out of
currently
water, you
still
know.
Clamped onto the second stage.
Humans
right
flying in
next to the vehicle.
space.
We'll see that retract starting about 4.5
What do
minutes
they think
before
of
it launch,
next?
When the arms open up and then the strung back will
whippersnapper,
recline away a
Elon.
couple of degrees. What we're
Stage
getting
1
ready for
RP1 load complete.
right now
This is
that
gonna be
rollout,
freaking
right
nuts.
on time. The fuel load, the RP1 kerosene, refined
Maybe this is the
petroleum
night
one,
where
Rocket 1 grade.
a passerby
loaded onto the
spaceship
first stage,
goes by,
so that
Elon
leaves us
triggers
with
the
just
event,
liquid oxygen.
causes them to contact us, and he is literally
Wouldn't that be some shit?
Florida air
our
slowly
Ephraim
breezing
Cochrane.
by the two chilled down liquid oxygen tanks.
I am also watching the Netflix stream at the same time. Is Netflix streaming this at the same time, or are you watching the docuseries?
Oh no, I think they are live streaming this. That's probably what your
is
parents
it?
are
That
watching.
super chilled liquid oxygen.
Netflix? I think they're watching it on YouTube.
Ambient Florida air. So creates these.
I'm pretty
these
sure they're live
puffs of
streaming
white
it.
clouds, as John said, completely normal. In fact, we will be seeing more of those once LOX load completes and
No, they're not live streaming it.
closed off to the vehicle. Coming up in just about 10
5 minutes,
we
guys.
should be hearing the call that Dragon has been transitioned to its terminal count configuration.
Missed opportunity. They should have live streamed it.
Dragon has transitioned to configure for terminal count.
Falcon 9 tanks are pressurizing for strung back retract.
Oh my god, dude. 4 minutes, dude.
Going to go on schedule. We're beginning to pressurize the tanks. That'll help stiffen the second stage up. Is the two hydraulic clamp arms will
It's a pretty
open up
spaceship,
coming
though.
up here very shortly.
It looks like a gigantic sperm.
Oh, Netflix is on
Strong back is
YouTube
lower.
live stream, but it's their own.
Oh, okay. Dude, this is exciting. Oh my god, dude.
Line
4.
there at the bottom of your screen, the strong back retraction.
I'm actually feeling like the adrenaline pumping right now. I can only imagine what they're feeling. I want to see if we can get like a sensor, like an Apple Watch attached to them, what their heart rate is and their vital signs as they go up, or right before T-minus.
I would think
30
if anybody
seconds.
though has the heaviest weight, it's Elon, because you know, if anything goes wrong, it's on his shoulders. You know?
Yeah, but to be honest with you, I think it might be a little bit more because they've got the rocket strapped underneath their ass.
Yeah, it's literally their lives on the line.
Yeah.
All right, there on your screen, you can
But
see that.
I mean, but when you
strong back
die,
is
you die.
going
You're
to
gone.
retract.
It's the people that's left behind that are left with the repercussions.
that
You know,
strong back will move
so even
back
if
just a
they
couple of
happen to,
degrees you
you
see
know,
here.
Let's
not come back or
go.
something, you know,
When the
it's still
Falcon 9
it's
sends
on
the liftoff
Elon. You know,
command
how
to
do
the
you
ground
deal?
to
How do you
release
live
it.
with that? You know,
Hydraulics will bring that strong back the rest of the way to about a
I don't want to ruin anybody's night, but several
got the call out right on time.
back in the 70s
Liquid oxygen
or whenever a Challenger mission happened, a bunch of NASA flight people committed suicide because they were not allowed to talk about it. They were
Right,
just
and there was
supposed
also like they continued to raise concerns, and there were budget cuts, the lowest bidders.
to, let's go.
That's not what SpaceX is, so that's good.
Yeah.
All right, there's that call out that Dragon is now running on its own power.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's no longer connected to the power
Dragon's running on its own power.
A, as you just heard, the crowd is super excited.
I'm gonna make it full screen so everybody can watch.
In Hawthorne, California, as we are now under 2.5 minutes until the launch of the Inspiration 4 crew.
Let's go.
That crew there can be seen on the right-hand side of your screen, buckled in and ready to go.
Dude, I might scream.
It's amazing.
Stage
Man.
2 locks load complete.
Look at that thing. It's rain.
I think it might. I don't think it's raining.
Dragon is an auto idle.
Falcon is now fully loaded with all of its propellants.
Closeout will begin shortly. Expect loud venting.
Announcement to let the crew know that as we vent off various lines on the launch pad, we'll hear some loud noises. Let the crew know that's planned.
Oh boy.
We're also right now draining the liquid oxygen out of the transporter erector, draining the lines, getting ready for
rectum?
launch. Waiting for the startup call at T-minus 1 minute.
Let's go. Let's go.
Dude.
Man, life is wild.
This is crazy. History.
Let's go.
Here it goes.
Let's go.
The flight computers are taking control of countdown.
You can hear the cheers. We're inside 1 minute.
Oh my gosh. Good luck.
You turn it up a little bit.
Go for launch. Punch it, SpaceX.
Go for launch. You turned it down. You turned it.
Calling
30
down.
seconds.
Let it go.
Punch it, SpaceX.
Sorry.
Let's go. Come on, guys. Let's go. You gonna do the countdown with them? I am. Oh, my God, man.
T-minus 15 seconds.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rocket ignition. Come on. Yeah. Yes. Let's go.
Oh, here we go.
Let's fucking go.
Copy 1 Alpha.
Oh my gosh.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow, that is beautiful. Wow.
T plus 30 seconds. Callouts indicate nominal. Historic mission flying the Inspiration 4 crew. Onboard Dragon and Falcon 9. Right here with the crew in the capsule.
Wow.
Wow.
We're into the throttle down, into the throttle bucket.
Stage 1 throttle down.
Stage 1, they're about to hit max Q.
Throttling down in preparation for the period of maximum dynamic pressure.
Dude, I love that sound.
I know, listen to that.
It's supersonic.
They've hit supersonic.
Wow. Wish we could get a view of them inside. Shitting themselves.
Stage 1 throttle up.
We're through the period of maximum dynamic pressure.
Copy
We're
1
throttled
Bravo.
back up, and 1 Bravo, the call out from space. That's one of the abort sequences. That is a nominal call. Everything continues to be good.
Everything's nominal. Let's go.
There we go. Look at them just chilling.
Looks like a smooth ride for the crew.
They're not even bouncing around, dude. They're just sitting there. That's so beautiful.
Look at that exhaust plume. That's beautiful, man. Look at the mock diamonds. That's nuts. Let's go. Let's go.
Wow.
Okay, we heard the call out. MVAC is chilling.
Oh my God, that's so beautiful.
On the second stage engine for ignition, we're passing through 3G's acceleration. Everything continues to look nominal.
That's beautiful. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Merlin engines are throttling down for G limiting. 4G, so we're holding it there for the crew. Major event coming up will be main engine cutoff, followed by stage separation, looking at the second stage engine nozzle, and then ignition of the second stage.
And Miko.
They reach Miko. Yes. Yes. Come on, light. Yes. Let's go. Yes. Let's go.
And you can see on your screen there on the right-hand side that the second stage has ignited.
Second stage is ignited. Yes.
I'm sure the crew felt another kick in the G's there as it ignited.
Wrapped in a
Officially,
trash bag.
Inspiration 4 crew are now on their way to
Yeah, it's a hefty trash bag with a couple bits of duct tape.
Zip ties.
Making
Yeah.
it way back down to earth.
Fun fact: if any crew member starts getting a little anxiety, they have zip ties and sedatives.
Whoa! Look at that.
On board. All the ice falling off.
What
from,
is that? What is that exploding behind it? Look at that.
So,
You see that?
so that is the thrusters. There's like little cold burst thrusters. That's what's going into the Roadster. Those cold boost thrusters are just going to re-angle and
Look at that. It's like it looks like it's literally like blasting ice.
It's just going.
Screen is a view,
And that uses it to accurately
on the opposite end of that engine is
allows the rocket booster to
of the second
maneuver.
Stage. Everything looks to be going normal,
and that's what's going in the Roadster
with them. And you can also track the velocity on the second stage on the bottom right-hand side of the screen.
They are going 8,000.
Awesome views of the crew inside of their capsule as well.
I'm pretty sure during first stage ascent, I saw Dr. Cyan Proctor. I'm pretty sure I saw Dr.
Stage 2 nominal.
So 2 thumbs up. I'm sure she enjoyed this ride that she's been waiting for her entire life.
One notable thing too is we're getting some twilight views. The sun just set in Florida, but
Oh, dude, you see that?
Up where the light around the horizon is also reflecting off of very high altitude objects, such as the first and second stages.
Dragon SpaceX trajectory nominal.
Love to hear that call out. Trajectory nominal from the guidance engineer. Also notice we're really up there now, well past 100 kilometers.
Acquisition of signal, New Hampshire.
Just before that view switched, we saw some teammate fist bumps going on there inside of the cabin.
Yeah, they look like they're having a fun ride there. And their journey isn't over. We've got about 7 more minutes until Captain separates from the second
Yep, I get the feeling, bro.
Right,
Yes,
this is crazy.
next milestone for this mission is actually going to be happening on the first stage. It's going to be performing a re-entry burn that's going to be coming up around the T+.
The re-entry burn's gonna be nuts, dude. They SpaceX killed us.
That burn is used to slow down the first stage before it re-enters the denser parts of the atmosphere. A few minutes later, it will execute a landing burn and make an attempt to land on our drone ship that's currently parked in the Atlantic Ocean.
Dragon SpaceX trajectory nominal.
Dragon copies.
So far,
sorry.
I was just going to say, so far, everything looking great for the Inspiration 4 crew. Hearing that everything is proceeding nominally there with the second stage, which is what you see on the right-hand side.
Propulsion nominal.
I was just going to say that MVAC engine we just heard now.
Pacing
is
to the last minute of the Super Bowl. So right now, it's interesting. They're still feeling G-forces due to the rocket burn. But very soon, after that
minute left to go,
they're ejected. Or that second
first burn.
That second stage falls off. They're just going to start. Their arms are just going to start.
Just going to keep going fast, but they're
the acceleration is not going to be there anymore. I mean, shortly after.
The nitrogen puffs helping to steer and guide.
Once they stop
the
accelerating.
vehicle, basically.
Dragon SpaceX trajectory nominal.
Basically, is the attitude control.
So that's nitrogen right there.
As it makes its way back down to Earth.
There's the crew on the right-hand side of your screen. I think I see some more thumbs up there. Dr. Proctor is clearly excited that she's finally in space. Again, this mission will be orbiting Earth for 3 days, and they will be at an altitude of 575 kilometers, which, if I remember correctly, John you said that that is the distance from Los Angeles to the Golden Gate Bridge.
There you go. They're going to get there a lot faster.
Those 2 FTS is saved.
Right now.
Yes, let's go.
Wow.
Let's go. Look how fast it's decelerating. Oh my god.
That's crazy.
It goes from space to landed in under a minute. It's absolutely insane.
That is insane.
Again, this first stage has already separated.
7,000 miles an hour to 0 for a perfect landing.
Is making its
Engine
way
shutdown?
It's trying to land, and the second stage, everything is going well. It is headed into orbit with the crew on board.
Actually, there on your screen, you can see a
The fact that you literally can't see anything and it's still going to land perfectly is
just
nuts.
behind the glowing
That is
MVAC
crazy.
engine.
Stage 2 is in terminal guidance.
Call out stage 2 and terminal guidance. We're at the altitude. We're working the angular momentum we need to get into the right orbit. And if you're wondering, crew's pulling about 3.5 Gs right now, less than they took on the first stage flight.
So in about 15 seconds, we are expecting.
Copy, Shannon.
That booster needs to go in a museum. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will.
We are expecting
throttle down.
the MVAC to throttle down and cut off an event called second
After it
engine
gets used
cutoff,
10 more
and then
times.
we'll wait for the confirmation of good orbit. At the same time, the first stage will be beginning its landing burn. And here we have the MVAC. We just saw
Wow.
that shut off its engine.
Stage 1, landing burn
Let's go.
All right, good news there.
What do they have in the ship to indicate 0G? They have a.
They have.
Oh, there she
stuff
got.
plus-
She has. There it is.
Look. Oh, it's landing. It's
Yep.
landing. Oh, that's money.
Right
That's
on
money.
the fucking target. Wow.
That's money.
Come before, and many are about to follow. The door's opening now. It's pretty incredible.
We didn't
See
get
how
any
their arms
confirmation.
are
One
like,
landing is-
floating now?
Dragon SpaceX launch escape system is disarmed.
She's got a lamb.
Everyone for making this mission possible.
Let's go. Great landing.
Capsule and crew are in a nominal orbit. In a few minutes here, we'll begin opening that. Oh, excuse me. In a few
Can they
minutes
take their
here, we'll
suits off?
Separate from the second stage.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, we'll begin opening that nose cone. At the same time,
Oh, man, we
we
get to see
landed
them
our
come
first
out.
stage on the drone ship,
As if-
which is super exciting.
As if the second stage action wasn't exciting
yes,
enough.
That's awesome. Wow. Congratulations.
Dude, this is nuts.
So there's
This
that
is
MVAC
nuts.
engine, like we mentioned before, it has already shut down in an event known as second engine cutoff. And the crew are now gliding, if you will.
Now, one thing right now is we're coming up just under 11 minutes in the flight. We're waiting another minute and a half or so before we get into the separation sequence. The second stage is
Did
going
they make
through
them
a series
stay
of
inside
events
a capsule
where
like
we
this
make
for 3
sure
days before
that
this in preparation?
gases are all
Yeah, they have.
pushed out of the system. There aren't any what they call disturbance torques. We want to make sure that the second stage is very stable, it's quiet, it's not moving around, it's not doing anything. So we give it a few minutes to actually just vent everything down, then go into quiet mode. Then Dragon will send the command to separate itself from the Falcon 9. It'll be pushed away.
This is
Falcon 9
incredible.
stays in orbit for a while till it eventually comes back to Earth, and then Dragon moves on its way.
Yeah, John, you talked about the terminal count earlier today, and this is almost similar to that. It's like another check before the next event that happens.
The beauty of the countdown.
Okay, we're about 30 seconds away from separation of Dragon from the second stage. The view on
Yes.
the left-hand side of the
And then
screen
we're
is the
gonna
view
recover
of
this
the
part too?
unpressurized section of
No.
Dragon. So it's
No.
the so
No,
we're gonna
the
dump
Falcon 9 is not fully reusable.
So when we do see separation,
Second stage
we'll see
isn't,
that kind
at
of
least.
pushed away from the second stage and make its way into orbit.
Only a matter of time, probably.
Once again, the Inspiration 4 has lifted
That's
off.
why we're building Starship. That's fully
9A.
reusable.
They are now in orbit around Earth. And
Let's go.
All right.
Wow.
So how do they control where that thing's coming down?
And coming up here, so we really appreciate everyone's help.
Math. And they start the reentry burn.
That was the voice of
It's not accurate. It just lands in the ocean.
Bill
they just put it in the
Gerstenmayer,
ocean.
communicating
Hopefully
with
there's not a boat
Inspiration
crossing
4
right
Commander
there.
Jared Isaacman.
Not in a shipping channel.
Wow.
Imagine how they're fishing, it lands 10 feet off.
So Dragon has separated away from the second stage, and that's the view that we have on the left-hand side of your screen. A lot of space there.
Separation, yes.
Expected
the
loss
next
of signal from Bermuda and New Hampshire.
And then the next event that we
The second
meeting
stage is going
opening
to
of
burn up in the atmosphere.
Dehumidifier activation and service section Draco checkouts.
So they're
We're
using
gonna
like
open up that
SpaceX
next
satellites
time.
to communicate with this thing?
It's an entire all this. There's dishes all over the world that does this.
After separation.
That keeps in contact.
And there's that first view that we have over the shoulders of Commander Jared Isaacman and pilot Cyan Proctor. Dr. Cyan Proctor is on the right-hand side.
It even looks like a Tesla
Jared is on the left-hand side.
UI. You see that?
Their dashboard for the next 3 days. These touch screens provide them all of the telemetry and data and information and about the systems.
It's like, all right, guys, the whole thing
Dragon,
drives
that
completely
they
for you, but
can
press
interact with
as many
while
buttons
on
as you want. Make it look cool on launch.
We can see the zero-G indicator floating around.
And it looks like it is a little golden retriever.
I think it's a lamb.
Oh, like the golden retriever assistance dogs at St. Jude
Yeah.
Children's
Ah,
Hospital.
it's a golden retriever.
Oh, I love it. 5th crew member on board with the Inspiration 4 crew.
So in a few seconds here, we are expecting the nose cone to open up, and hopefully we'll be able to see the first views
Puppy
of
time,
the
yes,
cupola
sir. Dusty
in space.
Dusty says puppy time. There they are.
There we can see that they have just opened up their visors.
And there is a forward hatch inside of Dragon between the cupola and the crew. So when the nose cone does deploy, they won't immediately get to
gas
see out the
smells
cupola,
funny.
but once they
This is
get out of their
nitrogen.
seats,
We ordered oxygen.
they'll get some incredible views of space. And on your right-hand screen is Mission Control Hawthorne at SpaceX headquarters
MX.
here.
MXXC, I believe.
Once again, the cupola is the observation dome that was installed. It's brand new hardware to this mission. It
called it a
is
cupola.
in place of what was the docking
Did
adapter.
your buddy get back to you on who designed
Or
that?
excuse me, the docking mechanism.
No, he's
allowed to
probably too busy.
Previously dock with the
Yeah, he was just screaming. They were just all screaming.
That the space station is not our destination today. We were able to pull out that docking mechanism and insert the cupola, which
Should tell her
will
we're
basically
live, this is
provide
more
a
important.
360 view of space for our passengers inside Crew Dragon Resilience here, which I cannot wait for our first views of the cupola.
Oh, it's the crowd
everything
that's
that
shouting
we've seen
that's in
on the
there.
ground
Yeah,
here
yeah,
is
yeah.
incredible,
I thought it was all
and
the workers or something.
to see it actually
That is all the workers.
is going to be breathtaking for us. I can't even imagine what it might be like to
All the
actually
support work
experience it in person.
other than mission control.
Yeah, this is going to be incredible. And I can't wait for them to get the
That's
first
cool.
look out and
I want one of those jackets, but they're like $200.
Everybody
I'm
that
gonna get
works
one
there
whenever
seems
I
really
work there.
passionate.
their reactions when they
Everybody that works
first
there
look out
seems really
that window.
Yeah, yeah,
You'd have to be.
yeah, yeah. That's what I have to be.
Like literally
Yes,
take
this
people's
is
hands
the
in your,
Inspiration
your
4
lives in
mission,
their
the
hands,
first
you know?
all
Acquisition signal Green
the first all-civilian crew into space. The team had a nominal ascent out of Pad 39A in Kennedy Space Center and are currently in orbit around the Earth.
Yeah, what an incredible
Amazing.
place to be in right now when we can say we have now put 4 civilians into space, into orbit. It's been an incredible journey for us to
Wow,
get
man.
You know, we didn't do this alone. There's a lot of history working with our partners, NASA, to get us to this point. A lot of efforts with reusability and reflying vehicles, which we've seen on this mission.
I just want to see the
particularly.
Cupola.
We've reflown the booster 3 times. Dragon, we flew for a second time here. First flew on Crew 1 last year.
And this is the same Dragon capsule, too.
Jared, Cyan, Chris.
This is the third. This is the
Haley
third Dragon
are
capsule
out
in space consecutively.
Yeah,
There's
it's
3
the
Dragon
same capsule, though, right?
Just the
Huh?
It's reused?
Yeah, it's
these
reused.
are
What they called it was certified pre-owned.
professional astronauts, and they're now in space. And
Acquisition signal Okanger.
And it's just wonderful to know that the access to space has opened up. I believe in the note that Jared relayed back to ground. He said that the door is wide open and the view is spectacular. Of course, they can't quite see out through the dome just yet, as we mentioned before. But metaphorically, it must be an incredible feeling to be on board Crew Dragon at this moment.
I bet everyone's super jealous of Haley and her window seat right now.
Right.
She can just turn to her left and see
And Chris,
everything.
Chris
Also has one, yeah.
Speaking of window seats, we are approaching the coast of Ireland. We're 249 kilometers up. So
19 minutes they traveled to Ireland.
200 kilometers where we injected to 575. And then we'll begin.
This is absolutely nuts, man.
But more importantly, we
So
got
awesome.
into contact with the ground station in England, and they confirmed the nose.
Thanks for hanging out, boys. Thanks for sharing pieces of history better than alone. Yeah, man. We're a community here. Yeah. Thanks for joining us. We were surprised anybody joined us.
So that exposes the
This
cupola,
has
and we're going to see
been really fun. It was adrenaline filled.
sign off.
Mask up, yeah.
As you mentioned,
They're gonna sign off.
We aren't going to the International Space Station. We're actually just going out into space, into orbit. So they will be doing a couple burns.
Thank you for joining us, Dustin.
Another one will be, or the first one will be 45 minutes.
I wanna
into
see 'em
flight,
look out the
and then
cupola.
another 90 minutes into flight, and that'll take them to their final orbit of 575 kilometers away from Earth.
575 kilometers.
No, that poor
So
girl.
at this point, it sounds
What
like
happened?
we're actually not going to be able to get
Just left her hanging.
views of the nose cone opening and of that cupola. So unfortunately, we won't be able to bring that to you live at the moment.
See you, man.
However, we will be providing that footage once it becomes available, and
Netflix.
are super excited to see what our 4 Inspiration 4 astronauts are going to be seeing over the next 3 days. So at
See you,
this
man.
point, Jared, Haley, Chris, and Cyan are now officially in orbit. Over the next
I wonder if they're gonna get their astronaut wings, or the Space Force is gonna rip that from them.
And the next 3 days orbiting planet Earth. We'll be checking in periodically
Because they can't
to
have
see how they're enjoying their
civilians getting their astronaut
and
wings.
to check in on those 360 views of space.
If you are curious and want to know where Dragon is at orbiting the Earth, keep tabs on the mission with the Follow Dragon tracker on SpaceX.com.
Yeah, and stay on top of any potential live events that we might be able to have with the crew while they're out in orbit by following us on social.
And finally, for today, the thank yous.
That dude has a legendary voice.
They got things for like them to strap in and sleep.
The FAA for launch approval, and of course the Inspiration 4 crew for their confidence in SpaceX, getting them into space today. And finally, thank you to everyone who is logged in to watch our webcast and donated to the St. Jude Children's Hospital. With that, we wish you a good day.
Wish you a good
Wow.
day.
Upsetting we won't be able to see the Cupola today, but we'll see it on the Netflix special. That's probably it. But they do
Save
have a
it for the
camera.
Special. Save it for the special.
Yeah, that was great, man. Thank
That
you
was
so
cool.
much for joining me on that. That was awesome.
And it was like no problems,
No, everything was nominal, man.
completely nominal. Yeah, it was great. It's beautiful.
Beautifully executed. So now we
That's-
wait
that's
for the
gonna be
next
commercial.
big thing.
And they're going through all this training to do that. But if you were just going to launch that thing and like say you needed to get to Ireland in 15 minutes, you could just hop on that thing and go. And then
Starship,
land in
yep.
Ireland. That's
Starship,
that's
yep.
that's going to be like seeing that. That's going to be a thing.
Starship, yeah. Yep. You could get to Japan in 45.
Yeah.
From California or from Florida, no, New York to Japan, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
That's going to be a thing.
Another thing they plan on using the Starship, or what the Pentagon was looking to use. The
Did you,
Starship
are you still alive? Are you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
say this last thing, and then we'll go off. The Pentagon was at least looking into for like emergency export of like tanks and stuff like that, and other needed materials. They're going to use Starship, put all the materials in Starship, launch it, and drop it from the upper atmosphere and let it parachute down. So you can get like tanks anywhere in 45 minutes or less.
Wow.
So anyway, guys, thank you so much for being a part of this historic moment. Civilians are in space. It was an absolute ride. Well, for them it was. For a minute there, at least for 2 minutes, no, 5 minutes in, I had adrenaline pumping. It was really awesome. Each rocket launch is just fascinating to watch each time. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you for watching. See you guys later.